I'm so excited to be here right now.
We made it happen.
Guys, welcome to another awesome episode of the Global Grove podcast with me, Peter Groverman. Here live on location with Randy and Patrick from Sunny Culture.
Woo!
I'm drinking a lemon perfect. I don't have a Sunny Culture here, but that's like my go-to. Next best thing here.
Don't worry, we're drinking it for
There it is, sneaking in. Let me give a little introduction of Randy and Patrick. Patrick Whitner is an entrepreneur focused on contributing to the convenience, inclusivity, and integrity of the consumer packaged goods wellness industry. He believes everyone deserves to feel good. Whitner grew up in San Francisco and attended the prestigious IMG Academy as a young tennis star. Randy, correct me if I'm wrong. You went there too, right?
I sure did. That's where we met.
Oh, pretty. So prestigious. He studied economics business at New York University, and after graduation did 2 years in an investment house before he got his life together and realized that he wanted to join the family real estate business, a role he still maintains. Is that right?
Yep,
Patrick?
that is.
All right. Active in real estate and CPG. Look at you. Since founding Sunny Culture in 2017, Whitner and Rany have been on a mission to help people achieve better digestive health. Sunny Culture has proven to be increasingly popular as it develops more products and flavors and is well positioned to ride the wave of growth expected to continue globally in digestive health. Guys, what a pleasure and honor to be here. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are obviously co-founders. Rany, you are kind of more the formulation, food science kind of engineer. Patrick, you're like the marketing business sales guy, but together you guys are wild stallions. Yeah, no one will ever say that you guys are the most ambitious bunch. What attracted me to you guys is you can't miss you. Everyone in the industry knows you. You guys are everywhere. You got awesome sun suits, your outfits that you go out and you have no problem getting on stage and rocking out in front of all of Expo West. That was really cool. And it's been a pleasure from my vantage point to kind of see you guys go from inception 2017. I really was there on the ground floor helping see the magic in the kitchen to where you guys are today, which correct me if I'm wrong here. Again, you're in Wegmans.
We just launched a new Harris Teeter. We did we're doing a test launch with Harris Teeter. Yeah. You're
in Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
You've got
great partner.
How many doors are you in?
So we're in about 300 doors at this point.
Enough said. All right. Well, I'll turn it over to you, Patrick. Please tell us more, and Randy likewise.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I first have to say that I was the guinea pig in this whole project. Randy was the true inspiration. So both of us were dealing with family health issues, and Randy had this incredible plant-based food blog. So he was making all these crazy recipes. He's like, hey, Patrick, come on over. I want you to try something. And so that's kind of how the escapades started, right?
Yeah. And I just love making food, and experimenting was my thing. And we just stumbled upon water kefir. It's just pure luck. And this seemed like there was a right place and right time for everything. And the more we learned and the more we felt about the product, the more excited we got.
And I thought I was in the 1% of health. I was on the junior tour of tennis. I would read nutritional facts and ingredients since I was 12 years old. And the gut is something that was always mysterious to me. After lunch every day, I remember I had bloating, indigestion, brain fog, and I thought that was just part of life. And so when I started drinking this water kefir, it was just in this little mason jar. I was like, how does this little cup affect me so much? And I went from 3 cups of coffee to 1. I felt better mood, better natural energy. And a lot of that bloating and stuff went out the window.
What is water kefir?
What is it?
I mean, I don't even know. How do you?
Who knows?
Most people don't know how to spell kefir, let alone know what it is.
Kefir is still mysterious by itself on the dairy side. We actually ferment a water-based kefir. Everyone, for the most part, knows what dairy kefir is or have had it. And we kind of found this culture to be something that was very unique and different. We consider it a cousin of dairy kefir, which is a live culture that survives, very similar to like kombucha as well.
Like you say, culture. Like this is a living organism.
This is a living organism that we grow and we maintain. It gives us rich culture, but we feed it sugar and these rich minerals that essentially thrive and they keep growing. And as we get bigger, we're going to keep growing with our culture that we have.
In the field, like in the wild,
So
where do you find culture?
Yeah, so traditionally there's two thoughts of where the culture comes from. One being in Mexico, it lived off of the cactus and it ate the sugar from the cactus, and someone just started fermenting it, and it just got discovered. Then another history also saw that water kefir was founded in the Caucasian mountains,
Eastern Europe.
well, yeah, and what they did is it lived in the riverbeds and thrived off of the root systems of the trees, and it's definitely wild.
They domesticated this kefir. They decided to start using it for a fermentation process.
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay, and then they realized that this thing that had when they would eat this organism or trace amounts of this organism, it had probiotic tendencies for the gut.
And
is that right?
Yeah. So the beauty of it is that most of the research has already been done because of the yogurt industry. So everyone knows that if you ferment cultures, they essentially have their rich probiotics. And then the ferment world has a lot of history, but hadn't had like a crazy amount of research. And the dairy industry, essentially with the dairy kefir, they put a lot of money into essentially researching a lot of the culture that kefir, the diversity of kefir has. And then recently, in the last maybe 10 years, a lot of studies have been done on water kefir in particular, and then obviously kombucha as well. And, these cultures not only like continuously live, but they adapt as well. And depending on what part of the world you are, they have different culture, different bacteria and yeast to that.
But one thing to say from a consumer standpoint is like, yes, there's the functionality, and I can get lost in the benefits. And so it's so exciting, the process of fermentation and being able to leverage this incredible natural process that we have. But from a consumer standpoint, when I started drinking this, I was drinking water and I took my coffee black. So I like things raw. I like things functional, very minimalist. And this kind of checked a lot of those boxes. And let's face it, water's sometimes boring. And so you need something else. And it's like, would I consider a soda? No. The seltzers, I wasn't really a fan of that. And this kind of was like that Goldilocks. It hit the spot where it was refreshing, but just enough flavor, just a tad sweet. And it did it for us,
Hey, Rany, where the hell did you discover water kefir?
So it's a funny story. My mother-in-law had it, and she got it from someone that essentially was going through Crohn's, and they claimed that they healed their Crohn's disease. And she was going through a pre-diabetic phase, and she took it instead of drinking her extremely sweet iced tea.
So this is like someone's heirloom that they cultivated, they kept alive, and then they've now passed it to you to bring to the market.
Yeah. So water kefir traditionally has been passed
Correct.
down from like generation to generation on a health side. And that's why it's been such on like the down low that no one knows about it, because it's just been passed down in secret. And
It's a secret, Peter.
Look, I'm just curious because this is, I don't even know where to begin here. You told me, first of water kefir. I don't even know what water kefir is. I think 9 out of 10 people you probably talk to know what water kefir is. Maybe they heard of kefir, but they've never heard of water kefir.
Yeah.
The idea of it, and it's just something romantic about it being like the keeper of the kefir. It's getting passed down. And I mean, what do you feed a kefir? Like, how do you, like, is there like a YouTube video on how to keep your kefir alive, or like how do you mother your mother culture?
There's a lot of videos online, but I think at the end of the day, it's all about experimentation, and every culture is different, and they'll survive off of different environmental ingredients. But our culture in particular loves organic cane sugar and water, and that's kind of how it survives. And I've seen some kefirs survive off of honey or coconut sugar and some other sweeteners out there, but it really likes glucose.
Thank you for explaining the kefir side of things a little bit more. I could obviously spend an entire podcast on the science element.
Definitely.
Here. I'm curious about if you can tell me more about your formative years at IMG, like as a tennis partners. Were you partners? Were you doubles partners? Were you competitors? Were you friends?
Yeah, we were roommates, and we actually met at 12 years old. Rany was the first person I met when my mom dropped me off at camp. We walked in, he was sitting there on the couch, and he was my first friend, at a home away from home. So we became brothers, and our families ended up both moving to Florida. My family was from San Francisco, and Rany, yours was at the time in the Canary Islands, Spain. So we kind of co-created these family traditions together, and our biggest holiday was Thanksgiving. And we haven't missed a Thanksgiving altogether for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Randy, you're from the Canary Islands. Did you guys celebrate Thanksgiving at all in the Canary Islands? Obviously not, right?
Well, my mom's American, so we did. But most of those holidays were created just to maintain my mom's old traditions. But yeah, we did.
Those formative years were, we were at a very I would say extreme tennis camp. It was called IMG Bolletary, and we would get up at 4 a.m. and go run 7 miles, and we'd have a half day of tennis and then school in the afternoon. And at the time, we were training to be professional athletes.
Who's better?
Patrick kept up with it.
I stayed with it. Yeah.
I ended up playing rugby in college. So.
Oh, nice. And did you study food science, Randy, in college, or
just a foodie?
Just a foodie, self-taught in the kitchen, and I think you got that from your pop a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, you guys are clearly good at it. You got people's attention. Everyone in the industry knows who you are. Who's your target market for this? Like, if I'm a kombucha drinker, am I going to like Sunny Culture? I mean, how relative do you compare yourselves to kombucha? Where do you guys sit in, like, from a taste perspective and a marketing, branding, target audience perspective?
So 50 to 60% of our customers are kombucha drinkers. I think that's because they're uniquely pre-qualified and understanding the unique benefits of gut health. That's number one. Number two, it's about how we're merchandised. With typically retailers like to place us among kombucha, and that makes sense to a degree. But what we get really excited about is that other 40%, because, we can get people to trade up of water, tea, juice. And so whether they're looking for more functionality or less sugar, those are the audience members that we really are excited to capture, because they're not incorporating probiotics or fermented foods, a majority of them, in their lifestyles. So if we can help be the gateway, to gut health, and to kind of live in this preventative lifestyle where they're incorporating more functional foods.
I think too that we just like to be a different use occasion. So a lot of people that drink kombucha might not necessarily like kombucha, and they drink it due to the health benefits. So we're a much lighter product than a kombucha, and we believe that we have a little bit more of a mainstream taste profile, and the water kefir allows them to have fermented foods without sacrificing the taste profile of something that could be maybe a little bit too vinegary or too much of an acquired taste for some people.
And you got the product right in front of you, Patrick, right? I saw you hold up the bottle. Let's see it. Hold it up. All right. So, the label is so clear. Hold it a little bit more. There you go.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the packaging. What kind of SKUs do you have? What flavors are you into?
Yeah.
What's your R&D looking like? Because I imagine your R&D is pretty sophisticated, Randy. I know you got a lot cooking there, but give us an idea of kind of the overall product itself.
Yeah. So at least on the packaging side, we're aggressive label readers. So we believe in making sure that any ingredient that's in the bottle is understood by a 3-year-old.
A lot to unpack there. You're aggressive label readers?
Yeah.
So like you're going to the market and you're just looking at everyone's packaging and pulling it up, and one of those people?
As customers, we like to know what we're putting in our bodies. And when people use things like extracts or concentrates or all these types of preservatives,
Natural flavors,
we like to understand what that is. And there's a huge in the market. I can tell you right now, as a customer, I have no idea like how to make those, and a lot of the times they're not the most let's just say healthy to make. And you're just trusting the company to make the healthiest product for you, but it's not necessarily good for your body. And that's why when we came up with Sunny, we made sure that, hey, we're using blueberry, we're going to use real blueberries. And if we're using hibiscus, we're using real hibiscus flowers. We call it no BS, essentially. And so at least on the label side, we like to be 5 ingredients or less so that people can read it. They know what it is. It's super clean. And we try to keep the label just as clean as the ingredients that we use. We try, especially, but at the same time, we are Sunny. So we do like to use a lot of colors and pop, but it's in a very minimal way.
That makes sense. And what kind of flavors are you working with, Patrick?
So ginger is in hibiscus were how we got started. Those were the 2 originals that we took to our first farmers market back in 2017. We've expanded. We also have a blueberry, an elderberry, a lavender flavor, and we're really excited. We're actually coming out with a lemon rose this summer that we're launching into 3 regions of Whole Foods. So that's going to be our biggest launch as of yet. We think it actually could be our most exciting flavor yet.
Okay, and so let's get back to where you are, because you're not in. I mean, obviously you want to be in Wegmans at some point, I imagine, because that market's awesome. But where are you? Let's say I'm going to go try a Sunny Culture right now. Where am I going?
So Whole Foods Florida has been our biggest partner to date. We just launched with Harris Teeter, so now we're in 53 Harris Teeters. So that was our first push outside of Florida. The other partners have been more of independents, mom and pops, gyms, cafes, grab and grow restaurants. So that's where we're kind of sprinkled with a lot of fast casual throughout Florida. So Florida, and just really focusing on the growth of our company, building a brand, the foundation of our business. And we've been doing that for a few years. And now we're kind of loosening the geographies, and we're pushing up the East Coast. So we want to do this in a very focused manner. It's, for us, it's been about scaling and integrity. And so how do we continue growing this business while maintaining our small batch process, keeping our thriving culture, and basically just still, making the difference that we want to be in the industry.
And going back to flavors. So we came up with a different product line that was more made for online. And we came out with our probiotic shots. And these shots are 2-ounce, more concentrated version of our current product. And those are shippable to 48 states via Amazon.
Yeah, and our website, drinksunny.com. So that was something that we wanted to do with COVID, and people are looking for ways to, have more convenient health on the go, and said, let's give them a shot.
So wait, if I go to drinksunny.com,
yeah,
I can order delivered to my house in Philly?
The shots.
Yeah, so the shots were something that we were really excited about from day one, because we saw that our customers would ration our drinks. And it was funny because a family would buy it. Usually the mom would be the one that purchases the product, and then the whole family starts drinking it. So they would ration. And this happened to multiple stories that we heard, that they would just drink 1 or 2 ounces a day and, share it throughout the family. So we looked at each other and we were like, well, what if we could just have essentially a shot that would be a single serve, that would be all the probiotics you need in one day plus more, and essentially give it as a product offering to the customers that we currently have that are rationing, and it worked. We posted it on our social media. Whole Foods picked up on it right away, and now we're with our probiotic shots throughout Florida, Whole Foods, and
online.
Yeah,
That's beyond impressive. What's next? You got shots. You got kefir water.
yeah.
What do you got?
Do we tell them?
What's in the what was the little sneaky peeky?
Totally. I think the biggest thing is that for us, what's potentially next. I mean, we're constantly looking at snacks. We're constantly looking at some other potential SKUs. We're also looking at some other product offerings. But I think the biggest thing for us is just concentrating our main lines and making sure that the current products that we have are meeting the expectations of the customer.
Totally.
Because customer first is everything for us.
So in terms of the North Star, we kind of jokingly say back to each other, like, probiotics shouldn't be a chore. They should be a treat. And so, how do we make it very easy to incorporate, Sunny Culture products throughout your week? And so it's not like, oh, I got to take this probiotic pill, but it's, oh, I had a Sunny Culture shot on Monday. I had a drink on Tuesday. And then, we're coming up with maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, it doesn't have to, necessarily be a liquid, but how do we really get you that functionality in a fun use occasion that is natural, to you?
Yeah.
That's what excites us.
We're also looking at ways that the whole family can enjoy it as well. So we're considering maybe some popsicles. We're looking at some yogurt ideas. We're looking at some frozen snacks.
If you freeze the
Kefir.
culture, the kefir, do you kill it? Is it survive a freezing?
Yeah, it does. And what you might do is you might essentially kill off certain strains of either bacteria or yeast, but they grow back pretty quickly as they thaw out. And freezing is like the best way of preserving cultures by itself. And you see that in the in the probiotic industry as a whole. They do the sub-zero freezing to preserve the cultures.
Look, you guys are both now, you've got the battle wounds as entrepreneurs that really show your commitment and your just dedication and your awesomeness in the space. What's been the hardest part?
I think the hardest part has been delegating, because we're founders, we're in it, we're manufacturing, we're sales and marketing, and is this knowing when you need help,
when to pass up the responsibility,
and when to pass off the responsibility.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I would say the other is just knowing when to be patient and bide your time, and when sometimes you gotta make the impulsive decision or pull the trigger. And I mean, that's Harris Teeter was something that we had gone back and forth about. It would be the first time, going outside of our Florida market, and, were they the right partner to do that with? And we already had a nod that we were going to be in more regions of Whole Foods. So it was, do we stay, kind of conservative, or do we take a shot? And so we've been doing this a few years now. And so we kind of looked at each other and said, I think we're ready to take a shot.
Well, I got to tell you guys, you've been an inspiration to me. I love following your story. And when I do these podcasts or I meet people, sometimes I meet people that are very introverted and hard to get information out. You guys are not introverted the slightest. You're the most extroverted people I've met in the industry by far. I mean, again, you guys got those outfits, those sunny suits that are just absolutely so fun. You got one around you can show off real quick, or is it nowhere close for you to grab?
Yeah, I can.
I'll post a picture.
Okay, Randy will grab it.
Yeah. Go grab one. Yeah, and anyway, so I want to be very clear and say that I think you guys have an exceptional product. I think if I can forecast out a couple years and reverse engineer how you're going to get there, I'm pretty confident you guys are going to be either acquired or you're going to be a much bigger household name. And I can't wait for that day and watching your journey and path to getting that point.
Well,
Sunny, drinksunny.com, Patrick. Said, right? That's where we're.
Sunny Culture on Instagram. Woo! Oh yeah,
there he is.
There it is.
This is why I ask. This is why I ask, because people like you deserve to get your persona out there the best you can, and nothing speaks or screams Sunny better than a sunsuit.
man.
And I love seeing guys at Expo every year. I love, hopefully Expo East. I'll get to see you guys again. And I love your product. I can't wait to see you in the shelves up here by my Philadelphia. And
September.
We're going to stock in the office.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, September, Mid-Atlantic in the South.
Well,
so 100 more Whole Foods.
I can't think of ending on a better note. Patrick, you guys raising any capital? What do you guys need right now?
Yeah, so we're raising our first outside round. So been bootstrapped up to this point, and now, especially with our expansion, it's time to bring on other stakeholders. So we're excited. We're looking into crowdfunding in the next month or so. So we're going to have a summer of raise. This is the summer of our first outside fundraise. So it's an exciting time. Yeah.
All right. Well, Randy, I'm going to leave it on you. Give my audience here some words of wisdom.
Have fun doing whatever you do.
Follow passion.
You can't say it better than that.
And who knows? Maybe
can't say it better than that.
Maybe you stumble on the next water kefir.
Guys, I'm so happy to have you. Thank you so much for giving me the time. And I know you guys are really busy. Appreciate all of it. And keep being sunny. You guys are the best.
We'll do it. Thank you,
Awesome.
Peter.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.